sending your query in, be sure to mention your name, the stock that you want to know about, and the time frame that you want to hold it for. That is, if you are looking for a short-term view or a long-term view, and in fact, if you bought it, tell us what price you bought it at. The first one is for you, Gaurang, and we've got Nelson from Kerala, who's asking about Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. I do not know if Geojit still has a buy rating on the stock, but he bought when he says that Geojit did have a buy rating, and he's bought a significant quantity at levels of 24.9. What should he do? What should his strategy be?
So Alex, whenever we have a coverage on any particular stock and we remove that coverage because of certain reasons that we believe are hurdles for the growth, we communicate that through various emails that gets disseminated to our clients. I don't know whether the gentleman did receive that email or not, but having said that, even I believe that the coverage has been dropped and we don't have a coverage right now. So just in case if he's willing to make a switch, then my sense is private sector banks look extremely attractive, and the first and second quarter results gone by this financial year has thrown in tremendous amount of traction in terms of recovery of stuck loans, and thereby lower gross and net NPA and provisionings getting right back. Keeping that in mind, I can suggest one small private sector banks that we are positive as of now is Federal Bank. I don't know whether there is any upside or not, but at current levels or on rallies, if you do get any where your losses are minimized, switch over to Federal Bank or any large cap private sector bank would be a preferred idea.
All right, that's the call from Gaurang. Switch to Federal Bank from Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. Moving on to the next one then. This one is coming in from Natarajan Ramesh. He holds 100 shares of Lupin, which he purchased at 1,113 rupees a piece, and he wants to know the two-year view on the stock. Coming to you for this one, Hemen, what's your call?
Pharma has been a positive sector on the chart, but within pharma, we've seen Sun Pharma leading, and Aurobindo, Lupin, Cadila all come under pressure. So from a 2-year point of view, I would be slightly positive than negative. We've had a move from 500 to 1250. We've corrected that by coming down to 850. Downside appears limited. If I were to look at the longer term charts, yes, they seem to be on a turnaround. We've had a multi-year bull market, and now we've had a multi-year correction, 5 years to be precise, and now we've sort of seeming to be turning the corner. So from a 2-year point of view, I would be positive. In terms of levels, support comes in at 850, major resistance comes in at 1250 and 1500. So yeah, from a 2-year point of view, I would be positive.
Hemen, this next question is also for you. We've got Dhampur Sugar as the name of the counter. We've got Puneet, who's acquired it today at levels of 314.5, 50 shares, and he's looking for a very short-term view of about a week. He's looking at a possible target of 330. Is that something that he can look at?
Well, he can. But frankly speaking, if he would hold it for a longer time, I would be more than happy. But anyways, we seem to be breaking out today, and 330 seems to be a plausible target. But if he holds it for probably 4 to 6 months, he'd probably make 20% from here. So looks good. Great buy. Entire sugar sector looks good. I'm positive for it for the next 9 months or so.
Right, sugar sector looking positive going forward. Next one is coming in from Kavita Joshi from Hyderabad, and this one is for you, Gaurang. She wants to know a fundamental view on all cargo. In fact, her time horizon is 1 year or so.
Well, before I answer that, just a small correction to the earlier query. We had coverage on both Ujjivan Financial Services and Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. So on Ujjivan's Financial Services, we have dropped the coverage. I believe the question was for Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. Alex, correct me if I'm wrong. So we are maintaining an accumulate stance on Ujjivan Small Finance. So the investor can continue to hold and maybe he can even average in case if the investment is at an elevated level. But on Ujjivan Financial Services, we have dropped the coverage. We continue to maintain Ujjivan Small Finance Bank as a cumulative. And on the logistics sector, the question, we don't have a specific coverage on this one, but we are positive on two logistic companies. One first one is Blue Dart and second one is Concor. On all cargo, unfortunately, we don't have a specific coverage.
All right. Okay, I hope, Nelson, that you're listening to this and that you've got that. We've got a question from Bhaumik. He says that he's living overseas and his question is about Sterlite Technologies. He's got 2,500 shares at an average price of 130. Do you have coverage, Gaurang? And if so, how would you look at Sterlite Technologies?
One of the best placed companies as far as optical fiber manufacturing capability and capacities are concerned, and given the government's focus to enable internet and data connectivity, not only restricted to big metros, tier 2, tier 3 cities, but also taking it to the semi-urban and rural India. I guess there is going to be tremendous amount of potential given the investment level, Alex. I think he is already deep in the money, so he did not worry. But as a precautionary measure or as a fundamental advice, given the returns that he's making, I don't know what kind of quantity of shares he holds of Sterlite Tech, but prudent to at least take, at least 30-40% off the table, bring down their acquisition price and continue to hold the rest from a long-term point of view.
All right, moving on to the next query then. This one's on Titagar Wagons, and I'll come to you for this one, Hemen. Ujjivan Kumar wants to know a technical view on the stock. In fact, he's holding shares at the rate of 110 rupees.
Okay. Unfortunately, he's managed to buy it at 3-year high, the 110 level. Since then, we walked into a corrective phase. Our assumption is that he's an investor and not a trader. If he was a trader, frankly speaking, if it goes from 110 to 86, his stop loss should have been triggered. So I'm assuming he's an investor. He needs to hold, for safety's sake, a stop loss of 85. From a 9-month to 1-year point of view, stocks should be heading towards 120 or more. We remain in a longer term uptrend. We entered an intermediate correction, which now seems to be in a mode of exhausting itself. A short-term bottom has been made. The bigger picture remains positive.
Okay. This next question is from Sagar from Pune. Gaurang, it's for you. He's looking for a fundamental view on Hero MotoCorp. He's already bought into the counter. He's got 125 shares at levels of 2,600, and he says that his time frame is 3 years. What should he watch for?
Well, we are positive on Hero MotoCorp from a long-term perspective. What he should be watching out for is the numbers with respect to month-on-month sales as well as quarter-on-quarter. Launches that are likely to happen in the future with the thrust on the EV segment in the two-wheeler category, Alex. It is one of the growth drivers and a reflection, of course, as to how fast the rural economy is recovering, because you have a lot of demand for two-wheelers, especially on the entry or mid-size segment from semi-urban rural India. And it caters to a large market over there, Alex. So from a long-term point of view, continue to hold on. If you have investable amount, I think any level sub 2400 would be a decent level to average in case if there is investable amount from a long-term point of view.
All right, that's the call on Hero MotoCorp. Moving on to the next one then, I'm coming to you for this one, Hemen. Chandrasekhar Bagur has sent in a query, and his query is on CAMS. So he's entered at the wrong time, somewhere around 3,200 levels, and now the stock is perched somewhere around the 2,600 levels. What do you advise him to do? Should he average at current levels?
Little bit of a caveat, because It's been there for some time, but ideally I need longer time. I have limited data, but keeping whatever data we have in mind, stock is in an intermediate correction. Short-term bottom is in the process of being made. 3200 isn't exactly very far away, but I think this is going to take some time. It'll have to consolidate, go up, go down, test the bottom, post a higher top, higher bottom. So frankly speaking, it's a slightly long drawn procedure. Currently, if 2550 doesn't break in terms of closing, a bounce about 2700 should take it to 3000. So short term picture is in the process of bottoming out. The weekly picture, the medium term chart seem to suggest that it's going to take some time. So frankly speaking, if he's going to hold it for some time, hold. If he's going to average, currently I see a short term bottom. The medium term bottom is not yet on the horizon.
Okay. A couple of stocks came in for you to look at. One is Copran Limited and the other is Eris Life. We've got a viewer, Aarti, who's asking if these two counters can be bought for the next 3 months or so. And Copran, particularly from what I can see on a year-to-date basis, has done incredibly well. Would you be cautious at these levels, or would you say there's still room to go?
20 to 370 would not only make me cautious, would make me very cautious. I think we'll take a fundamental view from Gaurang, but 20 to 370 as far as Copran is concerned, no, if the stock is a multi-bagger like this, no matter what or how good it is, I think it needs to take a breather. And if it's a fresh investment, I believe it should come only on a decline. Currently, we seem to be, like you said, it's in a rampaging bull market. We walked into resistance from this earlier high of 367.50, and I kid you not, Alex, this was posted somewhere in June 1996, the quarter ended. So we've seen these levels come in after almost 27 years, 26 years. So yeah, I would wait for a correction. Currently, I would not have a call on the stock. The other stock is Eris Life Sciences. Yeah, that doesn't. I don't mean to say that Copran will not go up further, but this is in relation to a fresh purchase. As far as Eris Life Sciences is concerned, once again, paucity of data, but whatever data we have seems to suggest that it's seems to be in a longer term uptrend. Currently, once again, we walked into an intermediate correction. 840, 860 is the level to watch out for. The minute it closes above that on the weekly or the monthly charts, it would mean a resumption of the longer term uptrend. So structurally seems sound. Currently, it's taking a breather, Alex.
You know, I was just pulling out the longer term charts of Copran, and what you're saying is absolutely right. If you pull back to even May of 2020, it was at levels of 2650 and it's gone up to levels of 345. And what you're saying is absolutely right. And I'm sure that a lot of our viewers will benefit from this. Do be wary, especially if you've seen a stock rise as quickly and as rampantly as this one has. The next one is for you, Gaurang, and we've got Sarthak, who is saying that he's a newbie and he's looking for some advice. He's got 2 lakhs of capital that he wants to put in the markets. How should he proceed?
Before I answer that, is this for a long-term point of view? Then I'll answer accordingly. I don't have the clarification in terms of time horizon that he wants to invest 2 lakhs rupees. Would you help me with that, Alex?
Sarthak is a long-term investor.
Okay, so 2 lakhs of rupees, don't need to spread your investments into large number of stocks in your portfolio. Just go by the basics, and I always recommend new investors to focus on large cap rather than wandering into some of the unknown, uncharted territories of mid cap and small cap. So I'll pick Reliance Industries as first stock and L&T as the second one, and if I have to give a third choice, then I would stick to HDFC Bank. And all these 3 names have a proven track record of history to create wealth for long-term investors.
All right then, moving on to the next query on that note. This one's coming in from Shelja in fact, and it's on the metals basket, which is under a fair bit of pressure in today's session. She wants to know whether she should buy Vedanta and Hindalco at current price, and she wants to know buy these stocks with respect to the short term. Heymen, what's your call on this?
I'll just take 30 seconds. The Nifty Metal Index is in a hiatus, so to speak. We've walked into a corrective phase after a fantastic move, and I think it's going to take some time. Coming back to the individual stocks, I think in the entire metal pack, Vedanta seems to be the strongest of the lot relatively. The simple logic is that it posted a high of around 385 and we're still at 338. I think most of the metal stocks are slightly away from the highs. So a lot of relative strength coming in. But coming back to the main question, a short-term buy, I don't see any technical signals. So the mechanical indicators that I follow on the daily and weekly charts all are in sell mode. So honestly, no buying signals on the short term. As far as Hindalco is concerned, as far as Vedanta is concerned, the bigger picture still remains better than the metal pack. Hindalco, the other stock, is the same story. Relatively better off, but not as much as Vedanta. Once again, everything is in sell mode. So frankly speaking, no buy signals from a shorter term point of view, Nandita, at all.
Yeah, certainly metals looking a tad bit under pressure. We've got a question on the auto ancillary name, Motherson Sumi. Gaurang, we've got Pintu, who's gotten at levels of 245, and he's asking how long he should ideally hold something like this for it to bear fruit.
See, Alex, we believe auto ancillary OEM segment, battery manufacturing companies, tire manufacturing companies will reflect how the auto sector does, because they are very closely interlinked. And our understanding at Geojit is that in the next 2 quarters, the situation with respect to chip semiconductor shortages could get resolved to a great extent, given the fact that you have large capacities, new capacities that have come up, and the supply side logistic issues will also get resolved. Post that, we may take another 1 or 2 quarters for the recovery to reflect on the auto ancillary. So in effect, to answer his question, I think you should at least have a year or year and a half kind of a time horizon to have a meaningful return on your investments as far as Motherson Sumi is concerned. And not only does this company supply to niche and marquee names in the domestic market, but it has got an elaborated list of niche and marquee names in the overseas market as well. And it makes some very interesting components to make a very safe car, which will be the next trigger for the entire auto sector, because the government of India is focusing on telling automobile manufacturing companies to make their vehicles more safer with respect to safety standards. So have a year and a half kind of a time horizon and continue to hold your investments in Motherson Sumi.
All right, that's the call coming in on the auto ancillary space. Gentlemen, with that, it's time to move on to our rapid fire round. And Gaurang, let's start with you. This one's coming in on Rain Industries. We have 2 queries on this same stock. In fact, Chaitanya has written in, he has 225 shares and he wants to know the long-term prospects. In fact, even Vishnu Vinod wants to know the long-term prospects of the stock.
Well, honestly, we don't track this stock. I would leave it to my good friend Heymen on the technicals.
Heymen, do you have a view?
Hold, range between 190 270, long-term uptrend, intermediate correction, doesn't break 190, closes over 270, goes to 310, hold for the next one.
Gaurang, a question from Tushar. Any recommendations for a mid-cap IT counter for the long term?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a couple of them, Alex. So starting with Mindtree, Coforge, Persistent Systems and Science Limited. These are some of the names that we are positive from a long-term point of view as far as mid-cap IT is concerned.
Hemant, coming to you, IRCTC, what would be a 6 months target on the stock? This query is from Radhesh.
Oh, that's a dicey one, but yeah, 6 month target would be probably somewhere in the range of 4 figures, around 1,000.
Okay, fair enough. Heyman, Voltas is the name of the counter. Denny Matthew from the UK is asking about this. He's bought at levels of 1280 and he's looking for a 3 month view.
440 to 1360, long time entry. Nevertheless, currently ranges between 1280 and 1140. Hold, we are in a long term uptrend. We've entered a corrective phase. We need to close about 1280 for anything to happen. If 1140 breaks, unlikely, then we go to 109.
Hemant, the next one is on NMDC. Purna Chandramani wants to know, she has NMDC at the rate of 175 rupees. She wants to know whether she should hold or book loss at the current levels.
In 12 months or more, hold. Support comes in at 120. Needs a close above 140 and 150 to stage a technical comeback for the first technical green should come in. Once again, hold if it's a holding piece over here.
Okay, on that note, Heyman as well as Gaurang, thank you so much for joining in and for answering all the questions that you did answer. It's been a pleasure as always speaking with you. We have to slip into a short break, viewers. Those that didn't get your queries answered, do stay patient with us. We'll try and take them tomorrow. Slipping into a short break, more on the other side. Do stay tuned.